Since that time, we do keep tabs on a lot of issues that might impact us in the legislature, and we do try to stay on top of that. So if there's items that you guys hear about, the good news is the League of Municipalities keeps us very in tune with issues that impact us on the local side. We try to do our best to update and let you guys know when we are going to go ahead and write some testimony about things that might potentially hurt us or things that would be positive for us on the city level. So that's an important thing. And I will say, because I haven't really reported on it much. Our new judge started, and she's now has 3 or 4 sessions under her belt, and she's continues to improve every week that she's met and done that job. And she's done quite an excellent job, and we're pretty proud of the work of what she's kind of doing to kind of transform the court a little bit. So I know the mayor had a chance to come in and observe her since she started, and but I think it's a good thing. We did meet last week with the Northwest Expressway Ad Hoc Committee, and it's made up of a lot of private businesses. City of Goddard, City of Wichita had representation, Sedgwick County, City of Maize. We had representation from K96 Corridor, REAP, and the 254 Corridor, Colwich as well. And I think,
Goddard,
yeah, I don't think Colwich was there.
Goddard, sorry.
But we did have, we did talk about a number of items that we want to do moving forward. And part of that's finding the best partners to participate in the feasibility study update that KDOT will do. KDOT has agreed to go move forward with that, and they will be assigning a committee. So we'll make sure that we have some representation on there. Building support for upcoming KDOT local consult meetings as they prepare for a new transportation plan. It's going to be very important that we get folks to show up in support of this project for it to happen. And so there'll be a lot of effort that goes into trying to get individuals to come and support that at the local consult meetings. Developing a website to build public momentum for it. We've talked about starting to do work as it relates to that. Outreach to partners that we've not yet reached. Obviously, as we talk about more public and more groups, we want to make sure that we've reached out to everybody that can speak up and talk positively for that project, because we do really truly think it's important to our future. And so we'll continue to work on that. And also, obviously, with 27% of the right-of-way purchased, we need to continue with our efforts to finish purchasing right-of-way on that project as well. 37, not 40, 27. So we'll continue to push our ability to do that. And so those are some of the things that came from that. Also last week, we had our chamber exploration meeting. We had about 50 folks there, give or take 5 or 6. That attended that. They were from Maize, Goddard, and West Wichita. And I'd say we received some very positive input from those in attendance. I know that Jeff Humbaum and Pat Stivers were there. I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on that would agree with me. I think we only heard positive, and that this is a good step forward. So with that in mind, if there's no objections, we would plan to go ahead and do our partnership. I don't need formal action on that because you guys have already said that, but I'd say that because I think there was positive results from that meeting, we will go ahead and start moving forward with that. Anything the two of you wanted to add, maybe?
No, I'd echo what you just said. I thought it was a great meeting, and it seemed like there's a lot of excitement, and people are excited to expand the chamber.
For those of you that weren't able to make it, there's a copy of the PowerPoint that's on your desks of what we presented at that time.
I think it's the start of something really big in West Wichita.
The exciting part was that even the city of Colwich was there.
Yep.
And I think there's potentially a partnership for them to tie in with that as well. And so
Shy, Clearwater, all those guys, they're all interested.
So I think it's regionalism at its best. And so I think when we come together and we do things on a regional basis, it's really important. And so I think it's going to be a good partnership, and we'll hit the ground running and help them the best we can to make sure our businesses here in Maize benefit. And then the last thing, I'll speak a little bit to what Tyler brought up. Last Monday, we hosted Kevin Shepard from Verdunity. He did come in and talk a little bit about a land use-based maximization approach surrounding the concept of land use, land use and fiscal analysis to maximize the value of future land uses. We did receive some feedback from you on the council. We'll continue to solicit a little bit more of that, and as we go forward, there may not be able to use every part of those. Obviously, we still are very subject to some of the expectations of developers, and so you've got to wade carefully into some of those things. I think there's some elements that discuss that we can absolutely use. And so any input I continue to receive from you as a council, if you wanted to reach out to me individually, and I try to kind of put some of those thoughts together too. So if you haven't had a chance to respond back to me, if you do that in an email or when you get a chance, and just let me know thoughts on what things stuck out to you, what things you have concerns about, and where we go forward from here. I know they're not the only company that can do a fiscal land use analysis, and we've actually talked to Dr. Gua, who's done some of that already for Sedgwick County on the revenue side, but there's certainly some elements of that we'll be able to utilize, and we'll come up with the best approach that hopefully is the most cost effective for us as well. I know some of the work that they do is not very cheap, and so not that cost is the only figure, but only factor in what we decide to do. But I just want to make sure it's the right move forward. It was definitely a different approach for how we do things. So, and then the only other thing I'll bring up, and we discussed this before the meeting, I expect that we'll be more likely moving the third Monday meeting on March 17th to the 24th to be able to work through some scheduling issues. But other than that, I don't have a lot new to the agenda, but obviously I skipped through a lot of things that are happening. There's a lot of positive things that continue to happen here early in the year, and we continue to work on those, and appreciate all of your efforts to attend a lot of workshops that we've had out there available for you to provide input. And so I really appreciate that. And we'll have several more as we get into the budget process. That's all I got. Any questions for me?
I talk to him all the time, so. Good. Okay. Thank you, Nick. With that, we'll move over to council member reports. We'll start with Dr. Gao.
I think all the things I just mentioned when I gave the comments to the different departments reports. So I have no more to add. Thank you.
Jeff?
Nothing for me.
Jennifer?
I am interested in attending a joint meeting with the rec at some point. Other than that, just to see what's up.
I also forgot to mention, we are targeting April 21st, which would be our regular meeting for our joint meeting with the school district. And we may, instead of having it here, we may do a portion of our meeting at the school building or vice versa. We haven't worked out those details yet, but plan that day to also be our joint meeting.
Mhm.
Alex?
I would like to thank the scouts for coming by. So I will say that twice over the last 8 years that the scouts have, for projects, they've made me for the ranch bluebird houses. And I will tell you that it is working. And I greatly appreciate you guys doing that. So I buy all the material and then the kids make these bluebird houses and then I go put them up. And so
Can I get in on that?
you just pay for the material. But anyway, I want to thank
Let
the
me know.
scouts for the stuff that they do. You know, anytime, always like to have more done, but
Here's that door.
it's always a pleasure that the kids spend the time to be able to do this stuff. So, and that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Kevin?
Just to reiterate my feedback on the workshop on the land use. I thought the workshop was very informative, very timely, and a lot of things to think about, a lot of information. I suggested that we have another joint meeting back with the Planning Commission in short order, if for no other reason to let everybody express their opinion and get kind of a next steps approach. I feel like regardless of what we do with that information, I think there's always bits and pieces we can use. It's not an all or nothing proposition, but there are some things we need to get done right away, and the sooner we get going on that, the better, as far as I'm concerned. So that's kind of my opinion there. And I did notice we were speaking earlier about lights being out on Academy Street. There's a number of lights in the new fixtures. Oh, okay, great.
Those should
That's
be
all
under-
I have.
Those should be under warranty.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Mayor report, the only thing I've got is just a reminder, this Saturday is the SAC meeting at Valley Center. This will be my last meeting as chair, by the way, so
Oh,
come wish me luck.
For the benefit of everybody else, SAC is Sedgwick County
Oh.
Association of
associated
Cities.
communities.
So the cities, there's 20 cities in Sedgwick County, and every other month, we kind of get together and discuss things. We have speakers come in and talk to us so that we can learn. And then the mayors and the elected officials and anybody that wants to come get together for some ideas, and it's kind of a cool thing. And the county and the city of Wichita are there as the big guys, and then the rest of us are there, and it's just it's a great way to learn things. So, also, don't you have a K96 meeting this Friday?
Yes, it's this Friday, and it actually will be hosting
Yeah.
it here in Maize.
So I don't think anybody can come, right?
Yep, anybody can come.
If you guys want to come to that?
Yeah, if you're planning on coming, let me know, just so we make sure we order enough food, but it'll be at noon.
Right
in this
here?
room, right
This
here.
room at noon this Friday. Awesome. And that's all I've got. So we're not going to do executive sessions. So we are going to have a sales tax workshop, but that's going to be after we adjourn. If you guys want to stay for that, you can. It's going to be fun. But I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. I'll second.
I got a motion, second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same motion. Want to take, about a 5-minute break or so?
Sure.
So what we're going to discuss